Hello, this is episode 1 of the Meet Mark podcast. My name is Mark Howley, and my goal in this podcast is to speak to small and medium-sized companies, generally anywhere. Anyone wants to listen to it, but I live outside of Seattle, and a lot of my observations in small businesses come from this area. Although I have sold in 48 states, I've had an enormous amount of opportunity to watch other businesses run. One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of them, in my opinion, watching it, are poorly managed. This is just my opinion, that the small business disciplines are missed. And by that, I mean, what are your sales force doing? What's going on in your operations? Do you really know who's doing what, when, where, and how? As in, where's tasks moving from one place to another? Do you have a clean-cut look at your accounting? Do you have a general understanding of accounting? Do you know what your gross margins are? And any other thing that might be in your business. In my case, our business had a lot of inventory. You had to know your inventory. When I had investors, you had to know your cash flow. They want their money, so you got to give them their money. Do you know your cash flow? Can you project your cash flow out over the next year, 2 years? It's not easy to do, but it's really an important part of the minutia of a business. The other side of it is sales. I'm a born salesman, a born marketer and a salesman. I know that game. I have some questions whenever I meet salespeople. How do you organize? Do you write trip reports? And you, as the owner of the business, are you aware of what activity is going on specifically? That being, how many sales calls are people going on? How many quotes are you getting out? What's the function of the sales reports that they send in? That's a must. Secondly, I think that customer service in many times is runs a little bit without the customer in mind, and that is, are you really satisfying what the customer needs now? Are you adjusting to the market? And the markets do shift. Having run this business for 20 years, it's changed a couple times. Selling in the same industry, which I have done for 35 years, there's significant changes. And if you're not keeping an eye on how customers have expectations, you can start to become stale. I'll also talk about some inventory management. That's another one. Do you know what's in the inventory? Do you know what age it is? Accounts payable. Are you familiar with who you owe money to and who's supposed to give you money? And how much money is sitting in your bank? Very simple things that can help a business really excel past good. That's my goal. As an individual, my name's Mark Howley. As I mentioned to you, I was born in Philadelphia. I'm one of 8 kids. I'm the 5th boy. And many of what made me today is tied into that upbringing, which was a great one. But, Philadelphia has a little different flair than some of the people in other parts of the country. It's just what I am. I have 5 daughters. I've been married for 30 years. That in itself is a story. The whole daughters the wife isn't a story. I still find her to be my best friend. Lastly, I love exercise. I love mountain biking. I love history. I love hiking. I love doing things with my daughters, with a handful of friends. That fills out the kind of the exercise portion of my life, or the off-work side of my life. And lastly, I have been sober for 35 years. I went through a pretty traumatic thing when I was a young guy, stopped all that at 25, and I'm proud to be that. I think it's helped me be who I am. That's the problem I had to solve, and thankfully I was able to and continue to be able to. So with that in mind, that's me. We're going to talk about the questions that I think are common and pertinent to a small business, and put a little flair into it. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for listening. I'll be back with episode number 2. Thank you.